What's going on, people? Welcome to the Score. It's your boy Shingy. I've got my guy Ems as usual, and I've got a new guest today, Rana. But obviously, she's pampering herself today, so obviously, we can't see her face. You know what I'm saying? But Rana, thanks for joining us on The Score this evening. I mean, how you doing?
Oh, good, great. Jose lost. It's always good.
Well, Rana, obviously, you're a Man United fan like myself and Ems. So I'm happy that you joined us today. But yeah, man, we see Jose Mourinho stink out Tottenham High Road. I mean, I'm looking at the stadium right now, yeah, and even the stadium looks depressed from what we saw today. Man. I swear, like honestly, I'm looking at it right now and it's just depressing. Like, I can come to N17 and depress the High Road. I don't. It's disgraceful, man. I mean, Mourinho, he went there. Tottenham fans were like, yeah, he's going to bring us success and stuff like that. I mean, Rain, I want to start with you, yeah? Rana, sorry. Mm-hmm. What do you make of what you saw today?
It's not something that I'm surprised about. Like, we know what Jose is about. We know how he sets up. And this has been his way of playing football. Even when Tottenham were winning, this is what they were doing. So it's not new to us. It just looks really bad because Harry Kane's not there to slap a plaster on it and make everyone feel better because he stat patted a goal or 2 assists or whatever he does, him and Son. So for me, it's unsurprising, but I can understand if Tottenham fans are frustrated because, to be honest, I don't really know what they were trying to do. It didn't seem to me like there was any attempt to win the game. There was no attempt to win the game. It was almost like they went there not to lose, and it's like, but you're at home, you need the points.
It just it didn't make any sense because I was watching the game and I was like, okay, like Jermaine Jenas did a piece here at half time, where like the defenders had the ball, no one was making any angles, no one wanted the ball, and it was like, well, like, what is your game plan? Like, I was so confused as to what I was seeing. Like, it was just so horrible. You know what I mean?
In that first 20 minutes as well, Ben Davies was getting cooked on that side and no one was trying to help him. No one was trying to help him at all. Højbjerg wasn't dropping back. He was completely isolated versus they were sometimes double teaming him. It was like Cho and James. Sometimes Jorginho would drop in. It was like, they were completely overloaded on one side of the pitch and he didn't make any adjustments to be like, oh, do you know what? Sissoko, come cover over here. He still left Sissoko kind of lingering in front of that back in the middle, like to become a third centre back. And it just didn't make sense. It was like, look, clearly they're not coming through the middle. They're going to come wide. So fix that. But
it's a bit mad. Ems, what did you make of the performance? I mean, because for me, like I said, watching that game was soul destroying. I felt like it was a waste of my time. Do you know what I mean? What did you make of that performance?
I think recently, any big game that's to do with Jose's team, mate, is an absolute gonna be a stinker. Like he plays so much dull football, it's unreal. And I just think I've just come to the conclusion, that man has to rely on individual attackers to win him games. Like from Tottenham to about, let's say, the end of his second spell at Chelsea, nothing's really changed. Like man just relies on a solid defense and hopes the guys up front winning the game, and then he shuts up shop. Nothing's changed. Like even at Madrid, I know that's even felt. Even at Madrid, man didn't have them attacking players. Man won't be having. He wouldn't have had he's got the most goals in La Liga, I believe, in Real Madrid in that time.
100 goals or something like that.
Yeah, but I just think he's solid. I just think in training, for what I see, is that he just works on defensive shape, and then he freestyles the attack and just tells them just do whatever you can to score the goal. There's no pattern of play. There's nothing.
Because it looks like now that Kane's out, it's more prevalent that basically they have no way of playing. Do you know what I mean? Because what it was is basically they would have like 6 behind the ball. They'll have their back 4. Then they will have like Højbjerg and
Sissoko.
Filling the gaps. And if they can break, they'll obviously was it Bergwijn? I can't even say his name. Bergwijn. Yeah, they'll have Bergwijn that will help them break and then obviously get to Kane and so on, and they'll do their mad thing. But today, honestly, it was shocking. it was absolutely shocking. I mean, Rana, I mean, what do you make for Spurs' prospects this season? Do you think, obviously, that they can, challenge for the top four? Because obviously they brought in Jose to kind of take them to the next level. Do you know what I'm saying?
I feel like Jose is going to do like what he did with us in our first season. Do you remember? So it was around this time where it was clear that, okay, top four is not happening. So we're going for Europa. And I feel like that's what he has to do at this point, because if they don't get Champions League, they spent a lot of money. Jose's actually been given, like, if you think about Poch, what in his 5 seasons, I think his net spend was like 75 million or something ridiculous like that.
Madness.
It was ridiculous. Like, he had barely any investment and he managed to take them obviously to the Champions League final, second place, whatever. So they've literally backed Jose. Like, they've thrown their version of the checkbook at him. And if they don't win the League Cup final, if they don't win the Europa League, if they don't make it into the top four comfortably, not scraping it through on the last day, like comfortably, I can't see how Levy can keep him in a job. And then you're back to where you were 6 months ago.
Go on, Ems.
I think if they don't get Champions League football, they have no alternative, but they got to sell their prize assets, because they still got to pay for the stadium, because obviously they have no fans to fill it. So they have to pay for their stadium. So that means Son, Kane, one of the two or both may have to leave Tottenham Hotspur.
They won't go this season, though. I mean, who can afford them due to the current climate that we see ourselves in?
They got to stay. I get you, but they got a stadium to pay for. So,
and I feel like clubs can use that as a negotiation point. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you say, all right, you don't want 100, we'll give you 70. You got to pay 600. What do you want to do? It's like, oh, we'll take it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean, watching that game, there wasn't too much to analyze. I mean, I thought Mason Mount was good today. You know what I'm saying? He's had his critics on social media. I mean, he's the guy.
Why though? I don't know why he's been criticized. I don't care, because
apparently he's seen as the teacher's pet, isn't it?
I feel like I can help you guys with that, because what's his best position? Is he a 10? What is he? A winger? 10? Box-to-box midfielder?
I think he's an all-round midfielder, in my personal opinion.
For me, from what I've seen from him, I would see him like the way I see Bruno is the way I would see him. That's
okay.
In terms of where I'd see him best operating.
So what, you mean like basically?
What's his best position? What's his actual best position?
AMC, attacking midfield centre.
So, because I think what the thing with Mason Mount is, and I think it happens to a lot of different people, sometimes they're like collateral damage. So because certain players weren't getting minutes, like Cho and Havertz, Werner, like these guys weren't consistently playing. And, you know, Mason Mount, obviously he's a young player, so he's going to go through periods of inconsistency, yet he was still playing. I think that's more of what the frustrations were. I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think anyone thinks he's a bad player. I just think most of us think, okay, he's good, tidy player, but he's not good enough to be on the first name on the team sheet every single week. And I think that was the frustration where people were getting annoyed. I was getting annoyed with it for England, because I'm like, hang on, wait, come on, like we've got ballers. Yeah, we got ballers like Grealish and Maddison at home, and you are forcing us to play Mason Mount. Yeah. Like, come on, that was my thing. But like today, I thought he was good. I don't think he should have been man of the match. I think Kovacic should have been a man of the match, because actually, as soon as he went off, that whole midfield balance was completely off. They just didn't look like they were going to score again. Okay, they should have Werner should have taken a couple chances. I'm kind of surprised that Tuchel didn't bring on either one of his strikers, because the amount of joy they were getting in the first half with like crossing balls into the box, I thought that's cash money for Giroud. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you just slap him on for 10 minutes? He probably gets a goal. But
yeah,
it wasn't interested.
That near post finish that he loves, boy. Giroud loves a near post finish, innit? But obviously, like, I didn't really want to speak about this game because it was shocking. I really wanted to speak about, well, obviously was meant to do this show yesterday. I wanted to speak about Bale, but obviously he didn't feature tonight again. And I mean, there was a point in the game where Jose looked at his bench. I think after he sent on Moura and Lamela, he looked at his bench, and obviously Bale was on the bench, and then he looked back on the pitch. I mean, he obviously doesn't fancy Bale. You know, what next for Bale? I mean, Ebs, let me come to you. What? Do
you know what's mad to me? The more I'm seeing he's not featuring, the more I think this was more Levy signing than Jose signing, in my opinion. Because surely you've got a player that's won 4 Champions Leagues. Is it 4 out of 3 or whatever Champions Leagues? Yeah, he's won everything in Madrid. Why is he not? Why can you not fit him in the team? Like, I don't get it. Surely he's better than Bergwijn. You know what I mean? But because he don't do the dirty work going back, Jose don't fancy him.
But how can we say he doesn't do the dirty work going back when he hasn't really featured in the team?
So you ask me a question: why is he not playing? I don't know. He's got all the quality. Why is he not playing? You don't fit into how Jose wants to play.
What irks me is that a lot of pundits saying he's not hungry anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's basically not interested in, you know, putting in the effort on the pitch. But how can someone be hungry when a manager doesn't fancy you? Like, you're not going to get a consistent run of games. Like, people keep on saying, yeah, he's more interested in golf. He's in sunny Madrid. I mean,
I think it's rubbish because if he banged the door and they hear media reports, Jose had to fall out of Bell because man's not playing, then there'll be another team saying, why is he throwing his toys out the pram? So I guess he can't win because, you know, everybody's character is different. Maybe he just, you know, he don't really want to be throwing his toys out the pram. He just, you know, wants to show the manager in training so he can get in the team, right? You got other players that will bang down the manager's door and say, why the hell am I not playing, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone's
like Danny Rose.
Like Danny Rose. I was just thinking it's Danny Rose.
Danny Rose, he was on smoke, you know. He was outrageous still. I was actually happy when you came to the club. Like, that's what he was on.
I don't know. I think for Bale though, like, I think he's had a bit of he's been treated really unfairly. I think his last year and a half at Madrid, I think every game that he came on for before he got completely iced out, wasn't he scoring? Like, he was scoring goals for them. And I remember he would go celebrate by himself and not interact with everyone else. And I feel like it's a very similar thing at Tottenham where, because Harry Kane's so big, you can't have Harry Kane and Gareth Bale at a team like Tottenham, unfortunately, because they are like two legends from two different times. And it's moved on. It's kind of moved on. And I feel like I think Bale expected to come back and become the golden star, and he's not. And I don't think Jose wanted him either, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it seems like this. And I think we're starting to see a lot of this with football clubs, because in recent weeks, we've seen managers, you see AVB, he's resigned from Marseille because the club signed a player that he didn't want. You've got Sebastian Haller, who was signed for Ajax from West Ham, and he's not been included in the I think 25-man squad. Now, so and we've got Donny van der Beek for our team, who's not really featuring. So it makes you ask the question, you know, are clubs signing players behind managers' backs? And then what happens is that the manager decides, you know, well, I don't fancy him. I'm not gonna play him.
But this is nothing new though. I remember, who was it? It was West Ham. And Alan Kirbishy was manager. And I think,
you're going way back.
That's what I'm saying. It's nothing new. I'm just letting you know, innit? I remember Alan Kirbishy was manager, and I remember they sold Anton Ferdinand behind his back to Sunderland, and he said, "Nah, enough's enough." And the same with Kevin Keegan at Newcastle under Mike Ashley. Enough's enough. He left. I don't know. Who did they sell? They sold someone or they signed someone, and he didn't want them. And then he just said, "Nah, you can't work under that." Look, Harry Redknapp's another one. When Portsmouth they wanted to direct the football, and he said, "No, he's not having that." Then he left.
Who was that? Harry.
Yeah, good old Harry, mate.
But he knows the game. But yeah, Ray, what would you think next for what's next for Gareth Bale? Because it seems like he's not gonna break into this Spurs team, and we're not gonna see the best. I was excited, when Bale came back, because I was thinking, you know, he lit up the Premier League before he left. Obviously, he did his thing at Real Madrid, and I was thinking, imagine the prospect of Bale, Kane, and Son. Ray, what do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think China or MLS, unfortunately, being honest, either that or he might go semi-pro golfing. I don't know. I just can't see the kind of wages he's going to want. No one's going to pay that in England, Spain, France, Germany. And I don't really know if he's got it, like one of his best assets is obviously his speed and the way that he can move on the pitch. That's obviously he's a great technical finisher and all of these other things he can pass, but the biggest part of his game relies massively on speed. And I don't think his body can deal with it anymore. And so I can't see him playing in a big club week in, week out as a striker or up top as a part of a 3 or a 2 or a 4, whatever he is going to be anymore. So I think he's done. I actually think he's done. I think after the Euros, we'll probably see him go like China or MLS. Maybe he'll go to Inter Miami.
Possibly, you know, possibly.
Do you know what I was thinking?
Yeah,
I definitely think this is Levy's signing. I think man bought Bell for the shirt signings due to the fact he can't afford the stadium. That's another thing. That's why I think. No, Levy's a businessman. You know,
he's a shrewd business.
The more I'm thinking about it, the more I just think, yeah, man, done it for shirt signings, bro. But
it's not. I can't see that making enough money. Like, I'm sure he knows. Like,
it's income,
the commercial revenue that drives is small. Like, genuinely, I don't feel like the amount of wages they're paying from him as well. Like, aren't they paying like 40% of his wages, which is what, like 175k a week or something like that?
I think it's a bit more than that. And the thing is, you see with shirt sales, you don't like the club doesn't really generate a lot of money from shirt sales. There's a misconception that shirt sales brings the club a lot of monmoney. And I think I'm probably going to share a link in this video because people need to understand. I will share a link in this video because there's a misconception that people think that basically shirt sales. Once you make a lot of shirt sales, then it gives the club back money. Nah, it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah, I think so. I work for a Premier League club, and trust me, the commercial value is not in shirts. It's all in the partners, the sponsorship, the broadcasting. That's where the money comes from, and the tickets. But tickets is only like 20% or 30%. It's not even massive. So I can't see Levy taking such a big chance like that. I think maybe it was the best free person that they could get because they'd spent their budget. And Jose was like, okay, of the options that are available that are free, he's the best one. So I'll take him. He knows how to win. He's done it before. I don't have to teach him anything. And then he's come and they've realized that actually it doesn't really work. I don't know.
For real.
It's a hard one. I feel for Bell, man. I feel that he's been treated. Zidane's ruined him, man. But listen, he's won what he's won. Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't think he's got nothing to prove, man. He's done it. And if he goes to America or China,
yeah, I mean, exactly. He's done it all. He's lived his life. He's won the big trophies. You know what I'm saying? He made a name for himself. So I mean, he's getting his money. I mean, good luck to him. But moving on. Anyway, we saw some controversial decisions this week with VAR. VAR. Jesus is Lord.
They said it was going to make everything better.
Yeah, I mean, to our benefit on was it on Tuesday? I mean, we saw was it Bednarek? He got sent off for a decision which obviously gave us a penalty, and Bruno scored. I think it made it 7-0 to ourselves. The game before, it's so ironic because it happened on the same night. The game before that, we saw David Luiz obviously get sent off for a decision whereby, I don't know who, did he trip Neto or Podence?
Neto.
I think it was Jose, that's who striker they got. Jose Willian?
Willian,
yeah. So, I mean, we've seen those two players get sent off, and then today we've seen that basically the Bednarek's red card has been rescinded, but David Luiz's red card has been upheld. How does that make sense, for one? And two, does the VAR, I don't know, the people that are in charge of VAR need to be looked at? Because I feel like there's not footballing people that are looking into these decisions. And I'll start with you.
Me?
Yeah.
So I think the main reason why Bednarek was overruled is because it was 6-0 already. So regardless of, I think that red card, that second red card doesn't change the game for them. However, Arsenal 1-0 up at the point of that red card. They then lose that person, the penalty scored, and then 20 minutes later, Leno is sent off. Okay, so the second yellow red card, I'm sure Arsenal fans will say that doesn't happen if David Luiz is still on the pitch. So I feel like if the FA were to overturn that, then that would be them admitting that they made a mistake, which would then, again, be the third week in a row where a team has dropped points because there've been bad officiating decisions made by VAR, which would then make them look even more inadequate. So I think that's the main reason why that hasn't been overturned. I think both of them it's ridiculous. So what we've learned is, or what players should have learned now is, if a man's for on goal, take him out. As long as you try to get the ball, you'll only get a yellow card because of double jeopardy. But if you try to get out of his way and he falls over and there might have been a bit of contact accidentally, you're getting sent off. Like,
but this is what pisses me. This is what pisses me off, and this is what pisses me off about this. Excuse my language though, but the thing is, like if you're Southampton, right, or any team for example, and your player tries to get out of the way in a situation whereby a player is through on goal and they accidentally clip a player and they end up getting sent off, and the penalty is also awarded, and the opposition team scores from that penalty. How does that make any sense? I mean, and comparing that to if a player is in on goal and someone clearly decides to cynically take somebody out, how does that make any sense that basically that player would be awarded a yellow card as opposed to a red card? It doesn't make any sense. And you can see it, the players are confused on the pitch. Where's the sense in that? Who's making these laws? Ems, I'll come to you.
But do you know what? Back to the whole VAR. Do you know what I found very mad, yeah? What's the point of having VAR, yeah, if they're not going to get most of these decisions right? Because why do they have a right to appeal if you've got video evidence of seeing what's going on, but they're appealing? I don't understand the whole... Right? Like, I don't understand. I'm confused. But the referees, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they should be able to explain, like they do in rugby, the TMO. They explain their decisions, why they made that decision. But with VAR, we don't know, because they're talking to a man in the thing. We don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I heard Southampton, they've requested that. I think it's Mike Dean and who was the referee?
Lee Mason.
Yeah. They've requested that they don't officiate their games anymore.
But they denied it. I saw something about they denied it, but I don't know. But for me, that game against Villa, I don't care. That was a stonewall penalty. That's a stonewall penalty. I didn't get given. No, the one Southampton played Aston Villa, and then Matty Casper. He was a great goalkeeper. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it was a great goalkeeper.
But to be fair, you see in the game against Southampton, that wasn't the only controversial decision. There was it Che Adams? Is it Che Adams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Che Adams.
Yeah, Che Adams. Yeah, he scored a goal, and he was ruled offside by what? A flipping hairline.
I think that's the issue. I feel like that's.
Go on, Ray.
Sorry, I was going to say I feel like that's where the main issue with VAR is. It's the way that they're changing the rules to try and make it black and white. Football has never been black and white. There's always been a level of objectivity, a level of, you know what, you're the expert, you're a referee, you're on the pitch, you make a decision based on how things happened in real time. Because if you slow anything down, a perfectly good tackle can look like you've absolutely collided somebody if you watch it in slow motion and you only watch 2 frames. It's not like when they show this referee, they show it full time, medium slow, and then like take it in frame by frame. They literally show him one angle frame by frame, another angle frame by frame, and then he makes a decision. I can't even tell sometimes, and I'm sitting at home like trying to draw that. I'm waiting for the lines to come. I'm like, is he offside? I can't see. So how is he supposed to see that on a tiny little monitor in the stadium with 22 players behind him, literally shouting and arguing and waiting for him to give the answer? Like, I feel like VAR is the right thing in a sense where we did need a balancing out between the big clubs and the small clubs, because we've seen clubs, getting relegated because of these bad decisions constantly. Like, do you remember Neil Warnock standing at the end of the Chelsea game and he's just staring at the official? But it's like, those moments.
I remember that was.
I think, and it was right, because after that, Like they had just been on a really good run. I think they had won their last 3 or something like that. And they were leading Chelsea 1-0. And then Chelsea got 2 offside goals, clearly offside as well. And they were both given. And subsequent to that, they ended up getting relegated. You know, after that, it was just too much. They couldn't make up the ground. So I think that VAR is the right thing, but I think it's the application.
That's the thing, and also that's what gets on my nerves as well, because I'll come to another decision which was controversial. Yeah, remember Aston Villa versus Sheffield United? The goal,
the ball was in the net.
The ball was in the net. The ball was in the net, and it was clearly conclusive that it was in the net, and they still couldn't call it. Obviously, the Hawkeye for some reason didn't call it, but VAR they looked at it, but they couldn't. For some reason they couldn't see that the ball was in the net. So
no, they could.
Well, they could, but they came to the decision that it wasn't a goal.
No, they couldn't. So I think it was something to do with basically because Hawkeye wasn't working, it's not clear and obvious. Does that make sense? So it's not clear and obvious because there's supposed to be a safety net to stop that from happening. So therefore, VAR cannot intervene, which is ridiculous. And it's literally stupid. But that was the reason why. So they could see on VAR it was a goal, but because Hawkeye is supposed to be there to make sure that goals happen or don't happen, and no one knew that it wasn't turned on. That's why that didn't get overruled.
But that's what leads me on to my point. Obviously, you make a fantastic point there. Honestly, you make a fantastic point. But that leads me to my next point: is that the players, the managers, they're confused. They're confused because obviously they don't know what's going on. They're looking at each other on the pitch and thinking, okay, well, Hawkeye has not made the decision. Right? Why hasn't VAR intervened? So the players don't know the rules, the managers don't know the rules, the people that are watching the game don't know the rules, because I'm here thinking, well, why can't VAR intervene? Do you know what I'm saying? It's not clear, which is very, very, very frustrating. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like basically I'm falling out of love with the game because of these silly decisions that are being made. You know what I mean?
I mean,
even Salah even Salah after the West Ham game, he was like, I don't like VAR. I really don't like it. I don't want to get fined, but I don't like VAR. Do you know what I mean? He says it's ruined.
Well, what happened in that game?
I'm not too sure what happened in that game. I don't think I was watching that game, but yeah, I think there was a goal that was disallowed or a situation that was disallowed. But yeah, he says that he doesn't like VAR, to be honest. But do you like VAR?
Me?
Yeah.
Bro, it's sort of, I just think you're still, with VAR is funny because I think like it's always going to be down to human interpretation and opinions, you know what I'm saying? It's not factual. Like, for instance, like against Sheffield United, yeah? Like, why was David De Gea, like, that's a foul. Like, why, man pushed him, nothing, yeah? We go the other end, Maguire challenged for the ball, it's given as a foul. But then I was thinking, yeah, do you remember that game against Liverpool, yeah? And then Van Dijk challenged David De Gea and then the ball dropped. Is that almost the same sort of thing as what Maguire done? Do you remember?
Well, when we scored?
No, they scored.
No, when
Van Dijk put it in the net.
Oh, you're talking about the game at Anfield?
Yeah, do you remember that game last season?
Yeah.
The ball went out and then, is it the same as what Maguire done at Sheffield United, would you say? I mean, against Sheffield United, would you say?
No.
Because I said that was a foul, the Van Dijk one. So, but Maguire's challenge with Ramsdale, is that not the same, similar, or?
Nah, I think that was a bit different. I mean, the Maguire challenge, he was looking at the ball, and he didn't go into the keeper.
What Van Dijk looking at the ball though? I don't know. I have to watch
subjective.
It again,
it's always going to be subjective anyway. That's
yeah, subjective.
I think the context as well is the fact that the first goal was allowed by Sheffield United. So if that's allowed, it's the same thing that I said about the Villa game where Maguire's goal, is it not Villa? Was it West Ham?
Sheffield United.
No, there was a goal Maguire where he jumped and he just jumped way ahead of the guy.
Burnley.
Yeah, so Burnley. Yeah, so Maguire's goal gets chalked off for foul, and then we go up the other side and Pogba gets a very similar foul on him in our box, and they don't give it as a penalty. So it's like, this is one game in isolation and there have been two completely different decisions. How is that possible. Like, so if one's a foul, the other one's a foul. You
But
know,
you're never gonna get, sorry to interrupt you, you're never gonna get consistency because every human is different. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, the consistency is so difficult because Mike Dean is a strict referee, and I don't know, one of the other referees are lenient, so you're never gonna get the same sort of decision.
That's the same referee in the same game. Do you get what I mean? Though this is where the frustration. So the Burnley game was the same referee in the same game.
It's actually mad.
And this is where the frustration comes from, because it's like, look, we're dealing with Sheffield United, same game. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're dealing with one game, 2 different decisions. If you like, so on Tuesday, I wanted them to send.
Who's in charge? Was it Kevin Friend or something like that?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
But anyway,
but like, see, on Tuesday, I wanted them to send Bednarek off, not because I thought it was correct, but because I want them to be consistent. Because I've seen too many games, right, where the game starts, you know, and then we see stuff ruled offside, and then the next game starts, and it's like, oh no, the player's now live, and you know, he can now interact. It's like, wait, okay, but earlier that wasn't the rule. So how is it that rule is that now, and this is this now? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Do you think? Yeah, sorry to cut you off. Do you think basically they sent Bednarek off because they had sent David Luiz off?
Yes.
100%.
Because obviously they've got the time to consult.
Sorry, that's consistent. It's consistency, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, fair enough. But now, obviously, Bednarek's card has been rescinded. David Luiz is going to miss the game on the weekend. I mean, you know, as an Arsenal fan, obviously, you know, I don't care about Arsenal fans, but as an Arsenal fan, if we're being transparent here, it's taking a piss, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You know what's mad, yeah? Man is running and man's foot hits Luiz's knee, bro. And man goes down. That's criminal, bro.
Well, the thing is, now the players know. Basically, just take the player out. Take the player out, and just take
there's a way. If it's a genuine attempt. So even if you slide tackle from behind, that'll be a red card. No.
No. So basically, if you slide tackle, if you're trying to make an attempt for the ball, like don't be. You know, very like violent about the way you're trying to get the ball, but you know, just try to get the ball. You'll get a yellow card.
That's literally double jeopardy.
That's to the letter of the law.
That's dark arts right there.
It is dark arts, but that's the letter of the law.
And it goes back to, again, like everyone crying about United players diving or whatever. The thing is, I don't feel like our players are diving because there's always contact, right? Because if there wasn't contact, I think there's only been one penalty since Bruno's come that I thought, yeah, that wasn't a pen. And that was the one at Aston Villa that Bruno stepped on the guy and then he went down and somehow got a penalty. That's the only one, genuinely, that was not a penalty. The rest of them have all been penalties. But what footballers are being told is, clap them in the box or go down. Because you don't get rewards for staying on your feet. Look, Brentford, they could have been in the League Cup final now if that guy hit the deck. But he didn't. I
remember.
And so they're out. This is the thing. So it's like there's no winning for honest people. And actually, the thing that I don't like about VAR is defenders have no protection anymore. And there's no benefit of the doubt given to anyone anymore. It's all like centimeters, and it's not tenth of a millimeter.
Like, honestly, you know, it really, obviously, I'm happy that we managed to equal the record that the 9-0 record that we did in 95 against Ipswich, But if I was Che Adams, and a Southampton fan, I'd be so annoyed. You know, we're talking about tenths of a millimeter or tenths of a centimeter. Like, it's ridiculous. Apparently, I think in Europe, I think they have a different kind of like.
They got a different system.
Yeah.
I remember there was one. You remember there was one chance? I think Greenwood. There's a Greenwood chance. I think Pogba slipped him in. But that looked
Leipzig.
Leipzig. That was a bit.
Yeah. Can we not mention Leipzig, because obviously that kind of,
I didn't try to mention it, but you know, what I don't like, the start of the season, they've set their rules, whatever, and then how can, like, you get to like middle of the season and they change the rules, like even the offside thing, you know, the whole Rodri debate, like, man was offside, didn't it, in my opinion, and then they now say, that now cannot happen? How can you change it? You should have your rules set for the season, and it shouldn't change.
Well, this is
Like,
why, for me, you see, for me, like, my love of the game, I mean, I still love football, like, so much, but, like, compared to the way it was, like, let's say probably, like, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I don't have that same love for it because there's so many technicalities in the game right now, which, you know, contribute to so much confusion. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of talking about the game itself, we're talking about controversial VAR decisions. Do you know what I'm saying? And VAR was actually brought in to eradicate those, you know, those
the rickets.
Yeah, exactly. So those errors. But hey, it is.
Can I ask you both a question quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Did you feel like VAR was applied correctly in VAR in the World Cup?
Which World Cup are we talking about?
2018. I felt like the application of VAR in the World Cup was a very good advertisement for VAR.
But in Europe, it's applied much better. That's the thing.
It's the best. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think European leagues, they apply it better. They make the referee himself make the decisions rather than I'm checking. It is I'm checking.
And to Stockley Park, innit?
Yeah, like, bro, like, why don't you just, if you let man go to the screen already, I'm doing this. Let man go to the screen and let him see for himself. Then, because obviously he makes the final decision rather than you wait for a guy that's in Stockley Park make the decisions. They don't make sense.
But yeah, sorry to cut you off there. Obviously, we got 1 minute and 26.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, mate.
Nah, it's cool. It's been a pleasure, Ray. I mean, it's been a pleasure having you on as well. I mean,
Thanks.
I mean, your knowledge of the game is absolutely top notch. I mean, as Andy Gray would say, it's absolutely sensational. But yeah, where can they find you? Obviously, we can't see you live in the flesh right now because you're pampering yourself. But where can they find you?
My at is at Miss Riri, so Miss Riri33. You'll find me on Twitter. Running agenda. That's all I do.
Part of the Man United familia. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, we're there. But it's important for us Man United fans to remain calm. Do you know what I'm saying? Game by game basis. I'm saying, Ems,
21.
Insta is ems.w.doms, mate.
Brilliant. Well, it's been your boy Shingy, it's been Ems, it's been Ray. Do you know what I'm saying? It's been the score. Make sure you follow the channel. Do you know what I mean? Make sure you subscribe, most importantly of all. It takes 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Support the channel for more content. My Twitter and Instagram is Shingy_LDN. And follow the football channel YKTS Football on Twitter and Instagram as well. Probably got around about 30 seconds left anyway. But yeah, it's been the score. It's been VAR. What next for Bale? Who knows? Was it golf, Wales, Madrid? Do you know what I'm saying?